So, I'm getting back on subject. I really am. I'm on focus. I swear, Smokey Dan, this time I'm going to get this done. You were asking about books and stuff, and so I said I went off on a tangent, and I'll probably put it on at the end. But basically, I have a lot of books, and so read you a passage from one of your favorite books and stuff. And I have a lot of books. I'm going to tack on a video at the end here, and you'll see what I mean. Oh, I'm sorry. On the other one, I did the housekeeping, so I'll do it again, but it's about out. I was smoking 965 in the Big Dane. It's a Danish pipe. I love it because of that really wide bit there. And so when I'm down here in my library, I have like tons of pipes down here too. This is actually one that kind of stays down here all the time. And so I have a couple of books down here, and you think? This is really down to nothing. I probably ought to steer it. I hate to do that, though. I don't like the taste of a pipe after I've steered it. I know other people do, and I've been told, oh, you're wasting a lot of tobacco, but it's my tobacco, my pipe, and if I want to waste the tobacco by dumping it out without steering it, you know, it's my pipe. Oh, I let my stick wrong. Gosh, can you imagine this room going up in flames? Whoosh! Well, that would take care of one problem. Oh, anyway, off focus. It's 965 in a Danish pipe. I was originally going to come down here and I was going to dig up some Sherlock Holmes. So I had brought down one of my Petersons. Of course, it's a Sherlock Holmes Peterson, of course. You can tell it's smoked. You can see from the bit. I found it around for a while. And I brought down Sherlock's Choice, which I thought it was a Seattle Pipe Club tobacco, but I have TB on it, so I'm not sure. I have to look it up. It's from 2014, so it's not very old. It's just something that I thought, well, Sherlock's Choice, Sherlock Pipe, do some Sherlock Holmes. But when I got down here, I remembered what he was talking about, and he was talking about fairy tales and bedtime stories and stuff. So I said, okay, I'll do that instead. So I'm gonna pick up one of my books. This is one of my favorite books. You can tell by the way it's all dog-eared and everything that it has been just, you know, loved to death. When we were kids, we didn't actually have, you know, the TV and stuff all summer long. So the graphics in this book, I mean, that was as good as any TV to us. We just had books. And so I thought I'd just open it up and read one of the stories. And the story I'm going to read today, because I'm going to read the whole story, it's short. It's Old Mother Hubbard. And I don't know if you guys know this one, but of all the ones to have opened the book to, that's pretty funny because this is one of the few that has a pipe in it. Old Mother Hubbard went to the cupboard to get her poor dog a bone. When she got there, the cupboard was bare, and so the poor dog had none. She went to the baker's to buy him some bread, and when she came back, the poor dog was dead. She went to the joiner's to buy him a coffin, and when she got back, the poor dog was laughing. She took a clean dish to get him some tripe, and when she came back, he was smoking a pipe. She went to the fishmonger's to buy him some fish. When she got back, he was licking the dish. She went to the alehouse to get him some beer, and when she came back, the dog sat on a chair. She went to the tavern for wine and red, and when she came back, the dog stood on his head. So she went to the hatter's to buy him a hat, and when she got back, he was feeding the cat. She went to the barber to buy him a wig, and when she got back, he was dancing a jig. She went to the fruiter's to buy him some fruit, and when she got back, he was playing the fruit. She went to the tailor's to buy him a coat, and when she came back, he was riding a goat. She went to the cobbler's to get him some shoes, and when she came back, he was reading the news. These are stories I grew up with. I really didn't even need the words. I'm sure all of you have your kids have their little books and stuff too. Keep them for them, because one day when they're over 60, they're going to pull out this book and say, I need to do a VR on this. This video is a support video. It has nothing to do with the prizes and stuff. Although that pipe, I'll tell you, it almost is tempting me to say, go ahead and put my name in the hat. But don't. This is really just a support video. I wanted to show my support and say congratulations. It's so nice to see the young pipers making the videos as us old pipers are dropping out. Happy, happy, joy, joy. It's a new generation of pipe smokers. One of the first stories I ever wrote, now you can remember I was about 14, and this was my first pipe story. It's called Goldilocks and the Three Briars. There was a Daddy Shale Briar, the Mommy Apple Briar, and the Baby Smooth Briar. One morning, Daddy Briar was smoking some DJ mixture and said, "My, this is too hot." Mommy Briar was smoking some Dunhill early morning mixture and said, "My, this is too cold." Baby Briar was smoking some tasty 965 mixture and said, "Mine is just right." Of course, being the Baby Briar, he was overruled and had to go for a walk with the parent Briars. So off they went. Along came Goldilocks, a beautiful light Nordine girl. First she tried DJs and said, "My, this is too hot and has a bite." Then she tried early morning mixture and said, "My, this is too cold," even though she thought it was nice. Then she tried my mixture 965 and said, "My, this is just right." So she sat there in the Baby Briar's chair and smoked a whole bowl. Well, of course, the three Briars came back home and found the beautiful Nordine sitting in a chair fast asleep. They looked and said, "She smoked a whole bowl." They woke her up and demanded that she reimburse them for their tobacco. She immediately pulled out her jar of AJ's Valor and shared it with them, all the time edging toward the door. The Briars got so caught up in the AJ mixture that they never noticed that she was gone. So the moral of the story is, 3 Briars don't make a right, but 3 white dots make a family of Briars. And as far as Goldilocks goes, she was a pretty hip girl that knew her smoke. That I had just bought my first Nordine, and I had 3 Dunhills, and they were sitting in a rack, and then I added my Nordine to her. And when I added my Nordine, which I called Goldilocks, by the way, she was beautiful. She's very craggy, and she had just this wonderful light grain, just a beautiful pipe. So here was those 3 Briars, and then there was that Nordine. So it was 3 Dunhills and my Nordine. And so that's how, for some reason, I wrote the story about them. And like I say, I started collecting pipes when I was very young, and I was lucky enough to have a dad that smoked a pipe and shared with us girls his knowledge of pipes and stuff. And so I grew up very fine, I have to say. And I know you guys, I'm always making notes and writing notes down and stuff. And so that was one of the things that was in one of my books from, remember I found that box of stuff from the attic, and it's been great. It's been a bunch of old memories that I thought I'd lost a lot of that in the fire, and I'm finding some photographs and some old books, and it's been a lot of fun. A little sad, but anyway, so you saw I was smoking my Sherlock Holmes Peterson, of course. I have some Sherlock Choice in it from 2014, and I've been smoking and drinking. This is called Dr. Tequila. Excuse me. It is Dr. Pepper and tequila. That's what I had. Happy to my basement. There's been a few problems that I came down to look at and take care of. Ah! So that's one of the projects that I got to work on. What a disaster. But it gets worse. This is usually all lit up when I've got a lot of friends here. We've got a lot of fun memories from down here. That's a South Park pinball machine. If you guys know me, you know I am a South Park fan. And so there's a lot of lava lamps and stuff like that. I say, you'll also, in this room, is the surgery. Some of you have seen this all, some of you haven't. Depends on how long you've been watching me. This house belonged to Dr. Weaver. A friend saw one of my mannequin heads and offered to send me a body, and I said I really didn't need one. I have one in my basement, full-size mannequin. But like I say, this is the surgery down here, and it was originally Dr. Weaver's surgery. And this is, like I say, where it starts getting bad. This is a library, and I just brought down some boxes from the attic that have been up there now for like 12, 13 years. And I got the jackpot. I got a couple of, I had a fire, and so things just got put away into boxes and stuff, and I didn't take the time to really look at what's going on. And I said, and this is one of the libraries. This is the first room. And this was probably also similar to a operating room in the days when it was the surgery and everything for Dr. Weaver. Then we come into what was the morgue, and you'll notice how red the walls are. And actually, underneath that table right there is still the original cornerstone stone for the slab part of the basement. The slabs used to be right there. So I say I'm almost ashamed of this because it's just so crazy. But Smokey Dan said, read me a bedtime story. No, I think he said, tell me a fairy tale, which is genre. I did have at one time a different type of library. It burned up in the fire, but not all of my library burned up, just the upstairs library at the house I was at. Oh, man, now that's a great book. But, you know, there again, you got to know the subject. Library. I say it's one of my favorite rooms. This room was like one of the first rooms that got redone. And I wanted to keep it a morgue theme type with the walls. However, the nice thing about this, if it didn't have so many things that are flying, that if there was ever a tornado, this room would be the room that would be the safe room, because the whole house can come down and this room will still be standing. It's built like